Every night at exactly 12 a.m., my dog would walk to my bedside and just stare at me. He wouldn't bark. He wouldn't move. He would just sit there, watching. At first, I thought it was just a strange habit. But then I realized something that changed everything. He wasn't guarding the house, he was guarding my loneliness. Before this story begins, I want you to think about something. Have you ever felt like someone understands you, even when you don't say a single word? If you believe animals can sense what we try to hide from the world, then stay with me. Because tonight's story isn't just about a dog. It's about loneliness. It's about healing. And it's about a habit that quietly saved me. It started on an ordinary Tuesday night. Nothing dramatic had happened. No loud argument. No bad news. Just one of those heavy days where everything feels slightly off. The house felt unusually quiet. When you live alone, silence doesn't just sit in the room. It presses against you. I remember putting my keys on the table and sighing. My dog, Bruno, was lying near the couch. He looked up the moment I walked in. He didn't run to me like he usually does. He just watched me. Carefully. Almost studying my face. I forced a smile. "Hey, buddy." He slowly walked over, tail moving gently. Not excited. Not playful. Just calm. That was the first night I noticed something different. Around midnight, I woke up. Not because of a noise. Because I felt watched. I turned slightly and there he was. Bruno was sitting beside my bed. Not lying down. Not sleeping. Just sitting. Staring at me. At first, I laughed softly. "Go to sleep," I whispered. He didn't move. He didn't blink. He just kept looking at me with those deep, steady eyes. Eventually, I drifted back to sleep. But that wasn't the last time. The next night, it happened again. And the night after that. Every single time I came home feeling stressed, tired, emotionally drained. At midnight, Bruno would leave his spot in the living room and sit beside my bed. Silent. Still. Watching. At first, I thought maybe he was hearing something outside. Maybe a stray cat. Maybe a noise I couldn't hear. But it only happened on certain nights. The nights when my thoughts were louder than the room. I started paying attention. One evening, after a difficult phone call with my mother, I felt that familiar heaviness in my chest. I didn't cry. I didn't talk about it. I just sat in the dark living room. Bruno didn't play with his toy. He didn't bark. He quietly walked over and rested his head on my knee. And at midnight? He was there again. Sitting beside my bed. Watching me. Like he was guarding something invisible. Curiosity turned into quiet fear. Was something wrong with him? Was he sick? I took him to the vet the following week. The vet smiled after the checkup. "He's perfectly healthy." Then she asked me something unexpected. "Has anything changed in your routine? Your mood, maybe?" I hesitated. "Why?" She leaned back gently. "Dogs are extremely sensitive to emotional shifts. Sometimes more than we realize." That sentence stayed with me. More than we realize. That night, I decided to test something. I pretended everything was fine. I laughed at a show. I played music. I even danced a little in the kitchen. Inside, I still felt empty. At midnight, he came again. sat beside my bed. And this time, I didn't pretend to sleep. I whispered, "Why do you do this?" Slowly, he placed his chin on the edge of the mattress. His eyes never left mine. And something inside me broke. Not in a painful way. In a releasing way. Tears started falling before I could stop them. And he moved closer. Not jumping. Not panicking. Just pressing his body gently against the bed. Like he was saying, "I know." That's when I realized something I had been avoiding for months. I wasn't just tired. I was lonely. After my breakup 6 months earlier, I told everyone I was fine. I said I was stronger now. Independent. Better alone. But late at night, the silence reminded me of everything I lost. And somehow, Bruno knew. He sensed the shift in my breathing. The tension in my shoulders. The quiet sadness I tried to bury under productivity and routine. He wasn't guarding the house. He was guarding me. The habit continued for weeks. But something changed. I stopped pretending. On hard nights, I would sit on the floor beside him. I would talk. Not to friends. Not to family. To him. I miss how things used to be. I feel scared sometimes. I don't know if I'm moving forward or just distracting myself. He would just sit there. Listening. No advice. No judgment. No interruption. Just presence. And sometimes, that's enough. One night, something different happened. I woke up again around midnight. But this time, he wasn't sitting. He was lying down peacefully beside the bed. Sleeping. Calm. That was the first night he didn't watch me. And I realized something powerful. I had cried earlier that evening. I had allowed myself to feel everything. I had stopped hiding from my own emotions. Maybe he didn't need to guard me anymore. Weeks passed. The midnight visits became less frequent. Not because he loved me less, but because I was finally honest with myself. I started therapy. I started journaling. I started calling friends instead of isolating. And Bruno? He went back to being playful, goofy, loud. But sometimes, on days when work overwhelms me, or when memories come back stronger than expected, at exactly midnight, I still feel a gentle presence beside my bed. And when I open my eyes, there he is. Not worried. Not tense. Just checking. Just making sure I'm okay. We often think we take care of our pets. We feed them. Walk them. Protect them. But sometimes, they protect parts of us we don't even admit are broken. Bruno never spoke. He never explained his nightly habit. But he taught me something I will never forget. Healing doesn't always start with big decisions. Sometimes it starts with a quiet presence in the dark. Watching. Waiting. Loving you through the silence. If this story touched you, take a moment tonight. Look at the ones who stay close when you're quiet. Sometimes the deepest love doesn't come with words. It comes at midnight. And it sits beside your bed.